私のパラシュートを見たことがありますか?
Welcome back to your bi-weekly EP entertainment channel. I hate to be that guy, but Octogen might actually be the worst character in the game. So it's not going to be easy, but we can make it work, trust. So step 1, I reset for those early purple nodes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you want to know more about the map, functions, and how to maximize your score in EP, go watch my last video on Season 3. Step 2. Grab the free Florence. She is the sauce that binds everything together. You can't cook without sauce, so that's why you need Florence. The final step is to just profit. As you can see in the video, Octogen really doesn't do much damage compared to even like Fresnel, because Fresnel, like, her AoE is just much better than what Octogen can provide. Funnily enough, a few hours after I did my run, so I was going to start recording and editing, someone else published a video using Octogen and Fresnel. So basically the same team composition, but they didn't pick Florence, and they only got 3.6k points or so. That's a huge difference, right? So, but I don't think it's just about the pick. I don't think it's Florence is that busted. I think part of it is because of the overall strategy. I think it's a testimony to the fact that my overall strategy for EP really does work, because every week I'm using the off-meta jank characters, which are supposedly tier D, tier F, and I'm still hitting scores of 4.4, 4.6. So I recommend you check out my first video on Exception Protocol, EP Season 3, I think it's titled Mythbusters. I think everyone can learn a thing or two from it, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that person, or I've seen a lot of other guides which use like 4-star characters, like fully kitted characters, and doing the lazy 3.5k clear. I think that's ridiculously easy, and I think what I am doing is just more fun, and I think you'll have more fun doing Exception Protocol if you don't look at it as a how do I get the bare minimum using the best characters available. I think you will enjoy it more if you try to squeeze out every advantage you can get from off-meta characters that you may or may not have raised, right? Because this is like a testing ground. This is the playground for you to test out characters you don't have. Since there's still another 10 minutes left in the video, I am going to tell you why Florence is tier 1 and why you need her, why you should always pick her, especially for low level clears, right? Because by the end of layer 3, the enemies are hitting for 14k damage in a single hit. And if we look at Persica, if you click on Persica, once again I'll assume you have her raised, so 455 hash times 2.81 times and then the 2 bounces, right? So that's around 2000 healing. Of course, if we only look at the raw healing, Florence heals anywhere between 600 to 900 HP and has a longer cooldown, but that's before the 80% damage mitigation that she provides, even without any skills. I mean, even at level 1, right? Because her skill is independent of skill level, which is why it's so very good in EP. The 5 stacks is 80% damage mitigation, and if it procs right on that 14k hit, that's effectively 11,000 healing. And at worst, 16% mitigation is still 2,000 healing compared to what Persica can provide. So the trick to making any team work in EP is Florence, and even Octogen works. Like, of course, here I am really trying to make him work. Like, I'm not even, like, I'm keeping him in the team, right? So I do have Hubble and Hatsu raised, but I'm picking all the right function sets. I'm then picking sets that amplify his operand damage. I'm picking sets which amplify like his crit, his output, but it just doesn't do much. He, like, right now he's doing half or less than what Fresnel is putting out on the field, right? So that's why Octogen really isn't a meta character, because later on we'll see me try and use his skill. I even stack Florence, like I even put Florence's out on him before activating his ultimate, was his ultimate, especially at level 1, just simply doesn't do enough. I don't have the numbers, I didn't bother with the numbers, but I am pretty sure Fresnel's passive or her auto skill does as much, if not more, than what Octogen does. And Octogen kills himself after that hit. So here, once again, a few tips and tricks that I've picked up. Like Fresnel, she makes herself invisible and can dodge and teleports herself one tile away. So I'd rather have her on outside of the bottom left triangle, where she can help draw a bit of the aggro and survive. And unfortunately, this fight took me quite a few resets, and the fight with the frog on layer 1, the final fight, I did like try to make Octogen work, and I got really close like a couple times. Like the frog had half HP left. I think I could have made it work if I wasn't so greedy on saving all the coins, but in the end I did switch out for Hubble, I think, so that I could clear layer 1, because layer 1 is actually the hardest one of the 3 before we can pick any functions, right? But after layer 1, it's a lot easier. Layer 2 is a piece of cake. The final fight, the boss fight, is easy. Layer 3, the warriors are quite annoying, but because of Florence, it's pretty much trivial, and I could have kept Octogen, but it would have like been a lot slower clear. I might have taken a couple more resets. So I did, but I used Octogen for one fight, so to prove that he was still viable in layer 3, but I switched him out because of the runtime, and Hubble just made it so much easier, and you have the option to grab Hubble from layer 2, so why wouldn't you, right? Anyway, this is the fight I'm talking about, where I wasn't quite able to clear it with Octogen. His damage numbers are abysmal, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. I think Octogen, like, you could try to make him work with Hubble displacement, but it's not great. Alternatively, I guess you could try and use Centaur, Racy, or G36, right? The maid. The maid with the knockback might be able to make him work, but it's just too unreliable, and his AoE is enemy just heal through his AoE. I would not recommend using Octogen. The negative protocols available this season are exceptionally hard. Definitely do not pick the one that gives your enemies 60% more HP. Do not pick the one that gives them a free revive. Like I said before, that is pretty much the best standalone function set available for you, and you don't want that for your enemies. Then there's also the one that limits your active roster to 4 dolls. Actually, do pick that one because it's a free 20% score bonus, right? It's just so easy to do this season. You can see in the final fight or the last layer, Fresnel actually does very little. It's mostly Hubble carrying the entire team, and with like the free Florence, a decent Berserker, a good proc, you can just scrape by with 4, or you can easily clear the final layer with only 4 dolls. I would not recommend you grab that negative protocol before you get Hubble, but you can grab it if you see it after Hubble, right? Post Hubble. Okay, so off the top of my head, the best function sets available this season, or not this season, but if you're following my team composition, I think with 2 healers, the one revitalized, I think it's supplemental overdose, right? There are 2 really good healer sets that really help your team survive before. It just adds a bit of survivability for your team. Crisis management, the one that gives your tank a free HP revive. That one, you should always grab that one. Then for Hubble and Fresnel, like a sniper team composition, vulnerability, the one that gives an extra operand damage, that one's really important. You kind of want the coordinated crit, or you want the 2, like the 2 available crit sets are very good, so you should grab those if you can. Last but not least, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. I'm slowly working on a tier list for EP, but what I learned this week was Florence is definitely tier A, if not S. I'm sorry for making the video slightly clickbaity. Octogen tried his best, I tried my best, but his damage is abysmal. So I show his damage numbers at the very end because I switched him back in for the final boss fight. Doesn't make sense to call in an Octogen blitz without Octogen in the against Wisdom, right? So you can look at his numbers there, and I'm not going to stop anyone from raising him if you enjoy his design, his style, but do understand he's in tier D or F for a reason. Moving forward, I don't know how much I'll have on my plate, so I don't think I'll be able to make more videos other than these bi-weekly EP updates, but I do hope you stay around and enjoy the ride.